Hey guys, I just want to do a quick talk here about this article from the Bespin Bulletin that just came out today, and it's reportedly how the Ahsoka series actually ends. So if you don't want to be spoiled, you should probably not watch any more of this video. Personally, I don't care. It's if this is true, then some of the things that I was concerned with are now validated, and it's another situation where we've got issues with another Star Wars show and a lot of nonsense. So, but anyways, if you don't want to be spoiled, you want to wait, and you don't want to know what's going to happen. If assuming this is accurate, again, we'll take it with a grain of salt. We don't know 100%. So, fans of Rebels are already familiar, but for the more casual reader, the villain of the Mandoverse, Grand Admiral Thrawn, has been trapped in an unknown part of the galaxy for many years following a confrontation with Jedi Ezra Bridger in the series finale of Star Wars Rebels. Okay, so that's what happens in Rebels. I never watched Rebels. I had a very difficult time getting into any of the Star Wars cartoons and taking them really all that seriously, but whatever. Bridger is in a desperate attempt to save his friends and the planet Lothal and his homeworld. I like Lothal. I like those big Loth wolves or whatever they're called. They're cool. And he used a species known as the Purgil to help trap Thrawn and his army before jumping to Lightspeed, which took Bridger, Thrawn, and the latter's army to an unknown part of the galaxy, where they've remained for years. That, to me, is weird. So Bridger somehow knew, like, if he hit Lightspeed, and he would have had to have known where he was going, would he not? I mean, or is he just like, I'll risk it. If we go through a planet, we go through a planet, or what here? Like, or does he know where they went? And if he does, then wouldn't his entire life from that moment on just be getting tortured until he told Thrawn where he went? I find this a very strange plot point. I don't know where they've remained for years. What? Why? Get out of what? And wouldn't the ship's log, if you hit Lightspeed and you went to a quote unknown part of the galaxy, the ship would still have information about the direction you traveled and all that stuff. You should be able to literally turn around, put those coordinates back into the ship, and just go back the opposite direction, should you not? All of these ships have navigational things. Even little small ships like X-Wings have that. I don't get it. This is why I don't watch shows like Rebels, guys. Like Filoni and this writers group, they think you're stupid and you're not going to think about these things. In the Rebels epilogue, Ahsoka, Tano, and the Mandalorian by the name Sabine Wren, a friend of Bridger's, embark on their journey to find the missing Jedi. Again, so you're creating a story by having a really very thin and kind of silly plot point to do this entire show. So right away we got problems. Oh man. In The Mandalorian Season 2, Tano appeared and confronted a subordinate of Thrawn's, Morgan Elsbeth, and demanded to know of Thrawn's location. If Ahsoka and company can find Thrawn, chances are they'll be able to find Ezra and stop the return of the Grand Admiral. Well, if this dude, Morgan Elsbeth, knows where Thrawn is, then Thrawn wouldn't be there, would he? Why is he staying there? The whole point of this is Thrawn's trying to return, right? He's in the unknown regions, he's trying to return and cause problems. If this Morgan Elsbeth person knows where he is and is in communication with him, then he knows where he is, then he's not stuck where he is. So what is happening here? The Elsbeth character, according to the reports, is building a large vessel to help transport Thrawn, so he knows where he is from the unknown location he's been trapped in. What? According to reports, is building a large vessel to help transport Thrawn from the unknown location he's been trapped in for years. If he's going to get him, it's not unknown. What is this? And if he knows where he is, you don't have to spend 5 years building a vessel to go get the guy. Just go grab a ship that can seat two that has hyperdrive and go get him. This makes no sense. So here in the story, you have two sides in a race to find somebody of great importance to them, both of who are in the same location. Grand Admiral Thrawn, despite being stuck in an location, he's still operating from the shadows, controlling the Imperial remnant left in the galaxy viewers are familiar with, as mentioned in The Mandalorian Season 3. Yes, I remember that. Okay, so Thrawn is still operating from the shadows. So in other words, they know where he is. If he's in communication with remnant Imperials, they know where he is. Why is he still there? And why is there this race to go find him? Why wouldn't he just leave, or they send somebody to go get him? I mean, if he's sending a signal, right, and he's talking to a guy like through a hologram or whatever, there's information attached to that where that person is. That's the whole reason, like, Obi-Wan couldn't communicate with outside sources, because it would reveal where he was to the Empire. Which is another really retarded thing they did in Obi-Wan, is they had him communicating with Bail through a signal, and so someone's going to pick up on that. That's the whole reason he went to Tatooine and sat there for all that time, just to watch Luke. Like, what is going on? If he's sending a signal and if Thrawn is communicating, then they know where he is. What is this? Why wouldn't he just come back then? What is he doing there? Oh my gosh. In Mandalorian Season 3, with Moff Gideon questions why Thrawn doesn't attend the Imperial Shadow Council meetings, blah, 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 blah. None of this makes sense, guys. This is terrible. And this is why I'm saying, and I said in my last video, they cannot even keep up with a normal, coherent storyline that makes sense with one timeline. And now we're going to bring in a multiverse? What? These people can't handle just the one single solid timeline, you guys. This is going to be a disaster with this World Between Worlds. Holy smokes. According to Making Star Wars, both Elsbeth and Tenor are both successful in venturing to the location where Ezra and Thrawn have been residing. Okay, Thrawn has an army of undead stormtroopers. I'm sorry, guys, but... Oh, zombie stormtroopers now. Okay, awesome. with him, whereas Bridger has learned a combat form that mixes martial arts with the Force. So are Thrawn and Ezra just chilling out, bro? Like, are they just hanging out? Who does the cooking? Ahsoka, Tano, and Sabine Wren have two goals: locating and rescuing their missing friend, and a second and arguably most important task was preventing Thrawn and his army from returning to the galaxy. Okay, I've said it now 15 times. Why doesn't he just come back on his own? They know where he is. This is so stupid. The outlet claims that our heroes fail in this mission, and Thrawn triumphantly returns to the galaxy to the dismay of our heroes in the 8th and final episode. So the only thing I can think of that would make this make sense is if Thrawn purposely stays out there. Right? And he's telling the guys to leave him there until this, special moment in time or whatever. And that would make sense. If he's staying out there because he's waiting, essentially, I'm just going to stay out here and wait until the New Republic reduces their armies by 90%, because I know they're gonna. So again, it can make sense, but it can be pretty stupid and pretty weak at the same time. Like, what? As if he would know that, right? And so then if the New Republic didn't, he would just stay there. So it's kind of like... In one of the final scenes, Thrawn reportedly walks up from his ship and sees all of his forces stood before him, including Elsbeth, the fallen Jedi, Baylan Cole, Balin's apprentice Sith Hattie, or Shin Hattie, his gold-faced right-hand man named Enoch, and his Imperial army. Thrawn reportedly revels in this moment, and promises that a reckoning is coming. The reported ending truly sets the stage for the untitled Mandoverse crossover movie set to be directed by Dave Filoni. The biggest threat to the galaxy since the death of Emperor Palpatine has emerged in the New Republic. But Palpatine isn't dead, though. And Snoke is around. Or gonna be. I don't know. He's a test tube baby. I guess he's born an adult, so who knows when he... I'm not ready for that fight that's about to be on their hands. The New Republic during this time have implemented the Military Disarmament Act, which limited the... There you go. And military, with size of the Republic defense shrunk, force down by 90%. And again, I go back to it, guys. The only way these people can write these stories and this is in many of my reviews, I've talked about this, how they have to make the New Republic just totally inept and stupid. They do it in Andor. They do it everywhere, and they are just idiots. Why would you demilitarize? what is this, 5 years after Endor? Why would you demilitarize that early and leave the door open? Like, why would you do that? And Ahsoka knows Thrawn exists. This is the other thing that makes Ahsoka look like an idiot too, because Ahsoka knows Thrawn exists, knows he's somewhere out there with this fleet or whatever, and these zombie troopers. So is she going to tell Mothma? And then Mothma's being like, well, I don't care. We're still demilitarizing because... Meh. So is Mothma the new Holdo or whatever? Like, any way you slice it, for this to make sense, someone's going to have to look like a complete idiot. And it's either going to be Ahsoka because she doesn't tell them about Thrawn, or it's going to be Mothma because she does hear about him and doesn't care and still demilitarizes, or it's going to be Mothma because she demilitarizes 5 years later, which is way too early and doesn't make any sense. I mean, someone's going to look like a complete idiot. This whole thing is just... It's just so weak and dumb. What's interesting is that there's a chance Ahsoka Tano, Sabine Wren, and Ezra Bridger are still in the location Thrawn and Bridger were trapped in for many years. It's not mentioned in the... trapped in. Thrawn... See, this is where I go back to what I said earlier about, like, why doesn't Thrawn just leave? They're saying Thrawn is trapped there. So, like, if he was there on his own will, waiting, he wouldn't be trapped. So if he's trapped, it doesn't make any sense because he's sending signals back and forth. People apparently know where he is. The ship should have a log of where he is directionally. So why wouldn't he just leave if he's trapped? Right? The only way it makes sense is if he isn't trapped. And even then it's weak, but the idea that he would just wait until they demilitarize, like he would know they would do that. But at least that would make more sense. If he's trapped... This doesn't make any sense. It's not mentioned in the MSN report that Ahsoka and company return by the end of the season, so I wonder if the rumored second season of Ahsoka would focus on our trio's journey back to join the impending galactic conflict. I could most certainly see a scene in the crossover event movie where in a moment it seems that our heroes such as Jaren, Bo-Katan are losing a battle, Ahsoka, Sabine, and Ezra triumphantly return. That's what you're writing, like, these stories and movies about? People getting lost in space now? That's the big plot point. We're lost. We're trapped in space. But look, we wrote a whole movie, and after an hour and 45 minutes, we got back there. It's currently a second season of Ahsoka hasn't been confirmed, but it's been previously reported that the second season was being considered and will be released before Filoni's Mandoverse, I don't even like that word, crossover event flick, along with the fourth season of The Mandalorian, which was due to begin filming in September, but production has been delayed to an unknown time due to the writer's strike, blah, blah. Okay, so they can't promote, the actors can't promote the show. So what do you guys think about this? This is not going to make a whole lot of sense. I mean, and again, even if they manage to make it make sense, it's still going to have major problems. And there's going to be characters that look like complete idiots, but that's what they do, right? That they've done that with Mothma already in Andor. She's just a total dip. So you guys let me know in the comment section what you think. If you are enjoying my content, feel free to check out my Star Wars Sequels Reimagined, all my other videos. If you like my Star Wars content, please feel free to like and subscribe, and have a good day.